Hey everybody, welcome back to Podcast and Such, a spoiler-free podcast about Mob Psycho 100. I'm Jay.
And I'm Luke.
Today we'll be covering episodes 3 and 4, but first, some news. So, July 3rd, I believe it was Anime Expo. And there they showed the third opening of the show. And they asked everybody very nicely, hey, don't record it. I think at least 2 people recorded it. And so I've been spoiled on it, and I've watched it. I will make no comment on it, because it would be spoilery.
This is the news?
This is the news, and
Wait, why are you telling people this?
I don't know. Do you not want me to tell people? I mean, because we're kind of in an interesting moment right now.
Mhm.
The time between seasons 2 and 3 coming out, you know?
Right. I get that, but it's almost like, uh, you saw this thing that you didn't wanna see, and now you're telling all the people out there that that thing is available for them to see as well.
Well, I'm saying it's out there, therefore don't go looking it up or sharing it.
Yeah. I guess when you're, like, following a show pretty closely,
Yeah.
um, maybe there's need to know that certain things are out there.
Yeah.
But see, I exist in this space where if you didn't tell me that
That was happening.
the third intro to Mob Psycho 100 had been leaked onto the internet, I just would have never known.
Yeah. You wouldn't have.
Yeah,
I'm telling it. Well, I'm telling this for people. I mean, that not everybody
right.
watching right now is going to be somebody like you that's never seen the show before. They might be looking it up because they have seen the show before and trying to keep up with news and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It makes more sense
Yeah,
when I think about it that way because
yeah,
people like follow tags and stuff and
yeah. And so that brings
do
us
other
to
social media related things.
yeah. Well, and that brings us to our second bit of news. Crunchyroll Expo is happening. I believe in early August. I think it's like the 3rd through the 5th. And they will be showing the first 2 episodes of the 3rd season.
Mm.
So I may have to, for like 2 months, stop following the tags or unfollow a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, if we weren't doing this together,
Mhm.
I might peek at some leaks. But since we're doing this
Okay.
together, well, it's more of a I'd rather die than be killed thing, you know?
I'd rather die than be. Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah. So that's why I always look at leaks. I don't share leaks.
Mhm.
I never share them. I never spread them.
Right.
Because but people don't always properly tag things. People are already making fan art of the third OP,
Mhm.
and they're not always tagging it as season 3 or even spoilers or anything.
Interesting. So
So,
why don't you watch the grainy um iPhone recording of seasons episode 1 and 2 when they come out?
oh, well, because we're doing this, and I want to watch it with you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I want to hold off, and so I might have to do a social media blackout to do it, but I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. People go pure for certain things.
Yeah, and they're doing some kinda the Crunchyroll Expo is gonna be like some kinda hybrid thing, so I think it's gonna be even easier to record
I
than
doubt they're gonna.
ever.
Do you think they're gonna show an episode like right onto people's computers or whatever?
I'm not sure. That might not be what they do, but eh, that's just part of their announcement tweet was that it was gonna be a hybrid. It was gonna be both in person and over the internet streamed. So I don't know if
Okay.
they're streaming that specifically. They might just be streaming panels.
Yeah. Yeah, because I imagine, like, either they're gonna do a thing where they, like, have a camera just recording the room
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever that people are in,
Uh-huh.
and if they show an episode on, like, a PowerPoint projector or whatever,
Mhm.
you would just be able to kind of pseudo watch it through that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not I'm really unsure how they're gonna be doing it, but, hopefully I've seen everybody already saying, "Hey, guys, y'all already leaked the OP.
Yeah.
Can y'all be cool and not leak the 2 episodes?"
I mean, it makes sense as an incentive for, like, hardcore fans to, um, to go to things, I guess.
Oh, yeah, well, and that's the thing, it's supposed to be this nice special thing of, "Oh, you guys got a sneak peek," and that's a
Mhm.
real cool thing, and I'm sure it's really cool to be in that room watching that OP for the first time.
Yeah,
It's it's not cool when you record it and share it,
I guess. You don't have to go on the internet.
well, yeah, I don't have to, but, it's a recreational thing that I enjoy.
Yeah,
So and
I'm just
again,
saying.
I'm in August, I might just have to unfollow a lot of people and block every instance of Mob Psycho 100 and only look at but because there's a couple of blogs that I'm referring to when I'm gonna
Mhm.
be talking about the show, but I already have the things bookmarked and whatnot for the most part, but I'm also already always discovering new posts because I've not been deeply into this fandom for very long.
Okay.
Only this past 6 months or so.
Mhm.
So I don't have every post I've ever wanted to see about it and things still get circulated. It's such a small fandom, so it's just I don't know. There's always new things to find for me because I haven't been in it for that long, and
Is
it's
it
been around for 6 years.
Did you say it's a small fandom?
It's, like, small in terms of, like, people being real active and, like, making things and making analysis and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, compared to, like, My Hero Academia right now, like, it's you cannot reach the bottom of that tag on any given
Interesting.
day. But Mob Psycho 100, maybe, like, 5 posts? But that's
That's
also post Tumblr not having as many people anymore.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. Tumblr's kinda dead.
it is kinda dead. In Twitter too again, it's hard to look things up on Twitter.
Mhm.
I find it hard at least because if you look up the term My Hero Academia or whatever, maybe you'll find some fan art, but not everybody's tagging their own discussions about things, you
Yeah,
know? Sometimes people just leave things untagged and
yeah.
just they have their Twitter account about it, but they're not gonna tag it ever. They just kinda throw it out to the void or to the people who already follow them.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it's I don't know, it's a whole thing.
That's interesting that it's small, though, given we talked about last time how it seems like people are adding that show to their favorite animes of all time
Well, it's
stuff.
just sometimes. Well, I guess it's a more passive fandom in a way. Well, so for it's definitely has to do with like so a lot of people love My Hero Academia.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of middle schoolers who also find these middle schoolers to be hot.
Middle schoolers that find these middle Okay,
Yeah, and
sure.
attractiveness in Mob Psycho 100 is very much an informed attribute.
And then they had to tell you that this
Yeah, they have to
character is
tell you.
considered Oh, okay,
Yeah, they
got
have to, like, tell you. I've only seen, like, one teenager on the entire internet be like, "Any of these guys from Mob Psycho are hot."
Interesting, because
Well,
like
except everybody loves Reagan, and that's it.
yeah, I mean, Reagan's got cool character design, and, um, the girl that Mob likes or whatever,
Yeah,
she's clearly drawn to be cute. I mean,
yeah,
it's not over sexualized, so, like, I doubt, you know, young weebs are, like,
yeah.
making nearly as much hentai or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen any of the Mob Psycho girls.
I mean, I'm sure it's out there,
I'm sure there's
but
some,
at
but I
far
haven't
less
yeah.
quantities than
Oh, yeah, than any other anime, really.
My
Yeah.
Hero Academia, like, in particular, would probably have a ton because they have a lot of girls that are, sexualized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's part of, uh, that's part it's like the calling card, right? It's part of the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah. Oh,
aesthetic
yeah,
that
yeah. Yeah, so that's what makes it a more, like, creative and active fandom in a way.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, people finding characters attractive, therefore writing fan fiction and drawing fan art and all that jazz, and
yes,
there's 20 separate characters you can like in My Hero
right.
Academia, and, Mob Psycho has, like, a relatively smaller cast in, like, a lot of ways.
In unique ways to turn them all into products for our enjoyment.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Cool.
So, last week I didn't ask you much about, like, the opening. Is there any imagery or anything that stood out to you or you particularly liked?
In the opening, oh yeah, like the
The theme
song,
song.
the
Yeah,
theme
yeah.
song, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I find it funny that they count to, 99 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, the song's called 99.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't pay attention to that.
Okay, okay.
And,
Fine.
one image I did particularly enjoy was, uh, Mob's, there was like a Ferris wheel
Oh,
with
yeah, the with the heads of, Mob, and I think Reagan
Mob, yeah.
had a head on there, and I think does Taylor
I'm
have one?
I mostly see Mob when I look at it, but
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm not I haven't burned this thing into my mind. I haven't
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
watched it 100 times and
Yeah.
added it to, like, my future wedding, uh, you know, set list or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I think let me send you I took a screenshot of it. I think my favorite bit of the OP is here. Let's see. I just really like them rotating in that crop circle together.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got the telekinesis club girl
Yeah, yeah. Well, all of them appear in the
just
corners
freaking
at the
out.
end. Yeah, going
Oh,
like,
okay.
what are these guys doing
Yeah,
in this crop circle together?
yeah. There's a lot
Yeah.
of, like, weird, humor in the
Yeah.
show.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
It's just, this is strange and therefore funny.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's definitely the style of humor of the show.
Yeah.
Mm.
I had a few more laughs this go around
Oh, yeah?
watching these episodes, yeah. There was parts that got chuckles
Yeah, what was, like, a
out of me.
highlight for you?
Um, well, I always laugh at, Reagan's special moves.
Mhm.
Those are
Yeah,
great.
you had a graphic exorcism this time.
Yes, that was cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I enjoyed the scene uh, where Dimples appears to Mob and Mob just picks him up and starts, like, slamming him on the ground.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got a good laugh out of that.
Nice. Anything from, episode 3? Those were both from 4, I believe.
Yeah, episode 3 wasn't great.
Oh, yeah, you didn't like that one?
Yeah, I didn't really care about it.
Oh, okay. Because that's
Oh,
actually where one of my first laughs by myself came from, and it was the
yeah?
freaking I don't know why, that Mob loves milk scene is just
Oh, where they kept spitting milk on him?
well, no, just that one line where the narrator went, "Mob just so happens to love milk."
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because first of all, uh, it reminded me of, that one Bruno Mousse video.
Mhm.
Um, he reviewed a game called Bad Milk,
Mm,
and
mhm.
he introduced the game saying, "I love milk. I love
Mhm.
milk almost as much as I love getting haircuts.
Yeah.
And so that got a chuckle out, and also it's like the fact that Mob doesn't smile very much, but it just gets this little image of Mob smiling, and you're just like, really,
Mhm.
that's what gets you smiling there, Mob? Milk?
I did think that that part was pretty good, and
Yeah.
I guess the culty storyline was kinda funny,
Mhm.
now that you're bringing me back to it. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I really liked the encounter, in episode 3 where he meets that lady in the alleyway, and
Mm.
she keeps guessing what the problem is,
Yeah, yeah, doing a
and
cold
then
read on him, yeah.
yeah, and then she's like, after, like, 5 incorrect guesses, she goes like, "Are you must be having problems with love," and he's like, "How did you know?"
No. Yeah, yeah. How'd you know? Yeah. Yeah, that is really good. I do like that
Yeah,
part.
it was funny, and it felt kinda accurate too because you could argue that, um, when people are doing that sort of thing, you could rationalize that they were just kinda trying to hone in or whatever,
Oh, well, yeah,
I
that's
guess.
what cold reading's all about, you know? Just guessing vague things. "Oh, everybody's got family problems." Yeah, yeah. Family
Yeah,
problems, right?
yeah, yeah,
No, not really,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know it was funny. I laughed at
Yeah.
that, and the laughing cult thing was interesting.
Mhm.
It just wasn't super, like, funny to me, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I was interested in the whole, like, explosion thing, where he goes Super Saiyan and they explain that's because he doesn't express himself enough or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sort of strange, I guess, to me that
Well,
it's
I mean,
like
basically, he's not letting himself feel anything until it becomes too much.
mhm.
So he's basically pushing everything down.
Yeah, I get that. It's interesting.
Mhm.
I I I guess his character is, like, exaggeratedly, um, stoic, maybe you could
Mhm.
call it,
Yeah, yeah, stoic.
um, but it's like it almost adds, like, a bad layer onto that, like, you know, maybe I'm taking this,
Yeah, what do
this
you a bad layer?
yeah, because it's like if he's, like, repressing his feelings or whatever, and that's like awful and causes him to explode all the time and stuff. It's like his stoic personality is kind of like less funny and more sad.
Well, yeah, I think it is supposed to be kind of funny, sad. This is
Yeah,
not. Yeah, this is his explosions aren't supposed to be a good thing. We're not supposed to be like, man, I can't wait for Mob to explode again. Or at least I don't think we are.
but I've only seen it happen once, so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
maybe the context will be different. But this time it was like really cool,
Right. Well, it was cool, but you remember what he said at the end. I'm terrible.
right? But he also went Super Saiyan. You know,
Well, yeah, yes, it did look cool.
it's a weirdly mixed signal to me.
Okay.
It it'd be like if, you know, Goku went Super Saiyan and beat Frieza or whatever, and then was just like, uh, "But I'm sad.
Yeah, but I'm sad.
But I'm sad." And it's like, "Okay,
Okay.
Goku, but you're also ripped and you got the shiny hair and you're really kicking some tushy here."
Right. Yeah, it's. Yeah, no, at this yeah, I guess at this point it's a little hard to discuss, but, yeah,
Sure, sure, it could evolve. I
right.
get that.
But yeah, just know that,
But
Mob,
just
the character, does not want to explode.
sure, but, like, slipping in, the explanation surrounding it, obviously, I guess it's less slipping in, but
Yeah.
couching this explosion in, um, you know, the whole explanation of his emotions and stuff, and then him saying he's terrible when he does the
Yeah.
explodey thingy or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Um, it's like all that's window dressing telling me one thing,
Mhm.
but then the explosion itself is super cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it could be both, it's,
It's like if Batman's all tortured and brutal or whatever, but then he goes like, "Don't be like me." And it's like, "Okay, Batman. I still totally wanna be Batman," you know? At least in
Yeah,
at
yeah, yeah,
least in
yeah.
the eyes of a child, you know?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. His explosions will
It was
obviously
it was super cool.
it is very cool. He finally gets to look and sound more like an anime protagonist.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It was neat. I liked
yeah,
it.
yeah. It's good exploding.
Yeah.
100% rage.
Yeah. Did he re did correct me if I'm wrong, did he refer to himself in, like, the 3rd person when he did that?
I don't remember him doing that.
Thought he said, like, "we" or something at some point.
Did he say "we"? I will have to look back on that. I don't remember them saying "we."
Because, like, I listened to that and was like, okay, is there like 100 existing within Mob or something?
That's an
I don't know.
interesting interpretation.
Yeah, I don't know. Trying to figure out the 100 bit and I was pretty certain he said we, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because yeah, I'm trying to think through any of the lines he said. He said, what all did he say? Gee, I can barely remember. Gee, I just watched this last night too.
I
And you
know.
just watched this today.
I watched it today and I was pretty certain I picked that up, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember him saying "we."
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, yeah,
Whatever. I was just I don't know. I don't know
yeah,
what gave me that intuition then.
huh, yeah, 100 things.
Yeah.
Sure,
But
why
yeah,
not?
he it was an interesting storyline. So maybe I shouldn't say that it sucked or I can't remember what I said. And wasn't
Well,
great.
you just said it was adding, like, a bad layer. Um, I think it's
Oh,
giving
yeah,
I think it's giving Mob a good, an interesting character flaw here. I mean, other than
that's true.
yeah, yeah,
That's fair.
yeah.
But no, I meant the episode in general. I
Okay,
think I
yeah,
said
yeah,
it
yeah.
wasn't great, but maybe it was a little better with recall.
Yeah, yeah, well, talking it out and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Because I did like aspects of it and the the cult storyline was pretty cool.
Mhm. Yeah, that cult, I think it's supposed to be based off of, the happy science religion in
Oh,
Japan.
okay. Mm,
I think it is. I don't know if that's, like, confirmed anywhere. Mother's
mhm,
Basement has a couple of videos on the anime that that cult has produced,
okay.
and they're very much a, just think some good thoughts and give us money, and, maybe you'll prevent a natural disaster, but if a natural disaster happens, you just weren't happy enough.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, one of
Yeah,
those sorts
I
of
liked,
deals.
I liked the smiles that, like
Oh, yeah, yeah, really cool masks.
it reminded me of um, the trailer for that stupid movie that I still really want to see for some reason. remember that Blumhouse, like, horror movie that was called Truth or Dare?
Oh,
And
those smiles, yeah, those
in the trailer in
yeah,
particular,
they
like,
had the really weird smiles,
the
yeah,
really
yeah,
weird
yeah, yeah,
smiles,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
and I was just like, "Man, that movie's gonna suck, but I kinda wanna see it now." I keep looking for it on, like, my streaming services and stuff, but
Oh, by the way, so we finally, like, understand why the Telepathy Club exists. Tomei wants to find some aliens.
yeah, yeah.
So we already have the supernatural things of ghosts as well as psychics. Do you think aliens are also real in this world?
I mean, maybe. I don't have any reason to believe one way or the other.
True.
I guess they're spirits and, you know, it's
Yeah.
open to interpretation.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you think the spirits are aliens?
Oh, no, I don't think spirits are aliens, I'm just saying that
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like this is a completely grounded world and therefore
Yeah.
aliens couldn't show up.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, but what I am saying is that there's no evidence thus far that there are aliens.
Mhm. Let's see here. Oh, so I don't know if you don't really notice voices super
No.
well sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dimple and the narrator
Uh-huh.
share a voice, and that's true in both English and Japanese.
Of the voice actor?
Yeah,
Okay.
they share a voice.
Interesting.
But like the narrator calls Mob Mob, but
Mhm.
Dimple calls Mob Shigeo.
Shigeo.
Yeah, his given
Yeah,
name.
yeah, sometimes in anime, there's too many names for one individual.
I love it when characters have more than one name.
It's just like, it's too much for me to keep up with.
Yeah, so that's why so Dimple calls him Shigeo, Ritsu calls him Shige, but that's a dub only nickname. It's
Shige?
yeah, Shige. Cuz it's like apparently kind of weird to call your older sibling by name in Japanese.
Mhm.
It's like the equivalent of calling your parents by their first name.
Okay, yeah.
So in Japanese, he's always calling him brother. But I think I don't know. Sometimes
Oh,
in
that
English that sounds kind of weird.
that wasn't just a Full Metal Alchemist thing?
No, well, and like I for the longest time, I thought that was just like a very specific characterization of Alphonse being like a real polite young man.
Right.
But no, that's just like standard Japanese thing. But it sounds fine in Fullmetal Alchemist because they're like in like the 1900s, and you're like, oh
Uh-huh.
yeah, those formal people in the 1900s. It also, gets a little contrast between Ed and Alphonse of like, oh, he calls his brother by name, but he
Mhm.
calls his brother brother, and that's like a real polite, respectful way to speak to somebody.
Interesting. Yeah, I just thought it was like a quirky thing, you know?
No, no, that's not like Alphonse's quirk.
Gotcha.
So that's what Ritsu's calling him all the time. He's calling him the same word that Alphonse uses, Nissan.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But they were like in the English dub, let's throw in a couple of Shiges, why not? Whatever.
Shige.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, just to give them a little less formal.
Mhm.
Let's see. So we met Masato this episode 3.
Is that the girl?
Yeah, that's the girl. Yeah, with
The,
the camera.
School paper?
Yeah,
School
yeah, school
paper girl?
paper. Yeah.
I just found out that some version of Netflix has the Truth or Dare extended director's cut.
Some version of Netflix. What do you have, a VPN?
No, I don't have a VPN, but I think
Mm.
that's the problem because, like, you can search for it
Yeah, yeah.
and there's a link.
And
It
then when
looks
you
like
open it, it's not available in your territory.
it doesn't look like it. I don't know the ins and outs of Netflix enough to know if that's true.
I'm pretty sure it just means it's not available in yours.
think it might be available on Amazon Prime for rent. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so girl
Yeah, so
who
girl.
takes photos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants just gotta break into a cult
Yeah.
and ask about it for the school paper. I
Mhm.
feel like that was a little bit overkill there, Masato. I don't know how much the school paper needs to know about a cult.
Yeah, she's, I guess maybe they have to have a reason for her to be involved in all this crazy stuff.
Well, yeah, no, well, I just think it's funny again, it's just so higher level than what a school paper would usually report on.
Sure, yeah.
And she's just like, "No, but I gotta find out about this cult, though."
Mhm.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's, she was cool-ish. I don't have a huge read on her right now.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, we've only gotten, like, 1 episode with her,
Yeah,
or,
like,
well, these last 2.
I guess I wasn't even under the impression that she might recur, though the telekinesis club has continued to recur, so maybe I
Yeah.
should assume that characters that are introduced are gonna keep being introduced.
Yeah, well, not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they got their spot in the OP. You think Telekinesis Club's gonna stick around, man.
Oh, yeah, I guess I didn't even pay attention to the OP, really.
Well, the OP is, like, almost incomprehensible until you're done with the season, and then you look back and go, "Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah."
like, it's got Mob going Super Saiyan and stuff,
Yes.
so but I didn't even register that that's what the explosion thing might have been.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, well, it's just they throw so much at you, it's like a really chaotic OP, which I appreciate that, that's really cool
Yeah.
and fun to go
I
back and look at and all.
In what episode do they turn into Ferris wheels?
Oh, that's the grand finale, that's some season 3 content right there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Finally gonna get to see Mob turn into the Ferris wheel he's always wanted to be.
yeah. Oh,
Yep.
also, I appreciate the Body Improvement Club.
Yeah, oh, they're so good. They're
Yeah,
great.
okay.
They're like, "Violence is stupid."
Yeah, that's that's not why we hone our bodies. It's like, that's
They're great.
respectable.
Yeah, they're super respectable and they're welcoming to Bob here. They're not like, "Oh, you can't be part of our club." They're like, "Oh, yeah, welcome aboard, Bob.
Yeah,
Welcome aboard."
yeah, they were pretty crazy, and I was, I guess I did not super expect that for them to come and save Mob.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't sure, like, why they were trying to use him as bait, because I was just like, "I don't know if these dudes really" like, I'm sure they don't, like, not care about him,
Yeah. But we find out that they do care about him.
yeah, that's really cool, and they went and
Yeah.
came to
They're
save him and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
that was
they're
cool.
they're they're great.
And then, what's his name? Blonde guy.
Oh, Teru.
Daru, yeah. He showed up, and that was interesting.
Yeah.
Got the psychic powers going on, I guess.
Mhm.
And, that was really funny. Was it the introduction to this episode or the end of episode 3? I can't remember, where he's introduced and he says he's, like, the main character or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was the introduction of 4.
Episode 4,
Yeah,
yeah.
episode 4, yeah, cold opening.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like You're not even the main character of this
This
anime."
show, yeah, yeah. Reagan just told Bob that he's the protagonist of his own life, and don't go stepping on that.
Yeah, but that's funny, this guy's got, like, main character syndrome or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. What was it? Someone isn't a star because they're in the spotlight. They're a star because they take it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm kind of more excited for the next episode than I have been for.
Yeah, it's nice that we finally ended on kind of more of a we're in the middle of an arc right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's taken
yeah,
its time getting to anything that resembles, like, a consistent plot line.
right. Well, I mean, people kind of call this like a slice of life hybrid sort of deal.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is it? Yeah.
understandable.
So, like, episode 3 was the end of volume 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, so I guess they end the first volume with him
exploding.
exploding.
Yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
Super Saiyan.
Yeah, so you essentially got it last week of, saying, you think that it might happen at, like, the end of an arc.
Right.
So, that was essentially I would call those 3 episodes the same arc. Some people divide them up, and it's just like, they're already so short, guys.
It did come a little fast for me,
Oh, yeah.
the explosion.
Yeah, because he did jump up from, like, 40% to 100 that episode, so
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if it's the sort of thing that they're gonna keep, like, teasing like that,
Mhm.
you know? Like, they're eventually gonna have to get more creative with, like, are they just gonna less frequently show where he's at, or are they gonna work in where sometimes he goes up, sometimes he goes down? Like,
Mm.
that would be interesting as far as, like, faking out,
Right, yeah,
like,
yeah.
when the explosion is gonna happen.
Mhm, mhm.
Because I don't know, once again, thinking on more long form series, um, terms, if you introduce the idea that, you know, in, like, Better Call Saul, if you introduce the idea that, you know, something's going to happen, uh, or something could happen, you might expect that to actually come to fruition closer to the end of the season,
Yeah,
you know? But with, like, anime, it seems like there's so many, like, little arcs in
yeah.
every season, so it's
Oh, yeah,
like,
oh, yeah.
I guess if they introduce a concept, it's gonna be utilized within the next, like, 3 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, that's kinda how
Yeah,
it goes, especially well, again, this show is gonna have probably a total of 36 episodes,
that's cool.
maybe, like, 1 or 2 more or less.
That's that's preferable.
Yeah, so we don't have a lot of time to work with.
Yeah,
And it
that's
was
great.
yeah, yeah, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm super on board with that.
yeah, yeah. So, I'm gonna read to you a post that I found about this.
Okay.
So you remember the whole like get a clue thing that they kept telling Mob in that little
Yeah,
flashback, and
that was weirdly, like, specific.
well, I'm about to tell you what that means.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so this is a Tumblr blog called Mandaribu,
Mhm,
and he has been live blogging Mob Psycho 100
mhm,
for the past little while here. But this is not a post by him. This is an anon asked a question, or well, it's asking, even though this is telling really
mhm.
instead of asking. But basically, an anon sent this message to explain the whole get a clue thing. So,
Okay.
I'll just read it out verbatim, essentially.
Okay.
So in the episode with the cult you just watched, Mob had a flashback to Sabomi telling him to get a clue. This line translation is not good at conveying what she was saying, since it's wrapped up in the Japanese concept of kuki. This the best explanation I could find is too long to put in this ask, so I'll send it separately. But too long didn't read. Blunt, ham-fisted explanation is that she was telling Mob to get better at picking up its social cues. Needless to say, many people headcanon Mob as neurodivergent. Follow up to the get a clue ask line. To quote the source I found, in Japanese culture, the social protocol calls for utmost attention to the right atmosphere. Certain actions can only be considered appropriate when the atmosphere, the time, and place allowed for them to be carried out. In Japanese lingo, it is reading the air, and for every person deemed to be lacking in such a skill, the term KY, cannot read the air, kuki yomenai, is ruthlessly, albeit sometimes jokingly, applied. Second follow up on the get a clue line. I just wanted to clarify that the actual line Tsubomi said was not Kuki Yomenai, but rather something along the lines of Kuki Yomeno, which isn't insultingly labeling him as a KY, but rather just telling him that he should read the air. It obviously doesn't change the fact that the line had a big emotional effect on Mob, but I don't want to give the impression that Tsubomi was flat out insulting him.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they were just telling him read the room, you know,
Gotcha.
that kind of thing.
Right. And that was, I don't know, supposed to be indicative of him being like neurodivergent or something.
Yeah, a lot of people like him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, here is an instance of when I was telling you about like how some people sometimes enjoy the manga and the way that it looks even more than the anime sometimes.
Mhm.
So here is an instance that a lot of people agree on.
Okay. Let's see.
It's the I did not laugh scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's drawn a little creepier.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, but there was also some like creepy looking stuff in the anime episode, just not that particular
Oh yeah, this is just
moment.
like a single particular instance, and I don't think the anime does a bad job either.
Yeah.
And I think, and well, and a lot of the stuff that is creepy from the anime is straight up lifted from the manga.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that the episode in and of itself did a pretty good job of conveying that air.
Hmm.
You know,
Well, I
that was
really like the score of this show a lot.
mhm,
It's really interesting. Got that kind of weird like squeaky hinges noise that happens a lot. I don't know
mhm.
if you do you recognize that? Like
I don't think so.
I've also heard people refer to it as the seagulls.
The seagulls? Okay.
Yeah, it just sounds like "Arr, arr,"
Interesting.
in the score sometimes.
I'd have to look out for it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I don't pay attention to score much the first time I'm watching anything. Just about. I mean, depending,
Yeah,
depending.
there's too many different things to pay attention to on these.
Oh, oh yeah, oh yeah.
I'm only watching these episodes once for
Yes.
the
Oh yeah, I know you are.
for the recap here.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah.
the first impressions for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess we can talk about the next episode since we've unless you have anything else you wanted to say about like episode 3.
I feel like we've kinda jumped around between episode 3 and 4.
We barely talked about 4.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, like we mentioned like Teru and maybe like Dimple a couple of times. Um,
that was most of episode 4 was Teru or
well,
whatever.
I mean, well, I did look like well, so like so we finally so we have Dimple here, and he has just such a larger aspiration than our main character, usually shonen protagonist. Want to be the best at something or whatever. Mom just wants
Yeah.
to like date a girl, and Dimple's over here like I want to become God.
Right, right, okay. Sure.
Yeah,
Dimple was interesting. Um,
yeah,
it was sort of a interesting fake out that, it ended up that Mr. Dimples, the cult leader, was possessed
yes, yeah.
and that the spirit came out.
Hmm.
It was, it was really funny when, Mob took Mr. Dimple to Reagan
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
to ask what he should do about him, and Reagan couldn't even see him.
Yeah. Well, I like that both Dimple so Dimple just by, like, being in the room for 1 second with Reagan's like, "Oh, that guy's a fraud."
Yeah.
And Tomei over the phone in episode 2 was like, "Oh, this guy's a fraud."
Mhm.
Absolutely everyone is just clocking Reagan immediately as soon as
Right.
they meet them.
Yeah.
He's
That's
that guy's a fraud, yeah.
right, right. So that just makes Mob seem, like, really gullible.
It certainly does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool scene.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean, and Reagan's quick on his feet about this. He's just like, "Oh, it's too weak to see him."
Mhm.
You know, if a spirit can be exercised by mob, oh, it's just that was too weak for me to exercise.
Mhm.
You got to
Right,
do it,
right.
mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's interesting that Mr. Dimple didn't get exercise, though.
yeah. He just his essence must have just spin around, I guess, or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
He just
he's
kinda
also
took.
supposed to. I think he's supposed to be particularly like powerful.
Oh, okay.
Um, did they? I was there was like a title card or something that said like a class whatever spirit or something, or
The title cards go by so fast.
they
Um,
do, and then they're Japanese, and then you have to read the subtitle over the
yeah,
Japanese. I think it said a high class or top class or a high level spirit. High level
yeah.
spirit is what they called him. Yeah.
And then anytime I try and rewind on HBO Max,
Mm.
it freezes and I have to reload the screen.
Oh, gross.
HBO Max sucks.
It's it's not the best, and I wish it would pull up the episode list when I click on a thing instead of bringing me right into the episode.
Mhm,
Because I am going back and watching things
mhm,
sometimes. Like Monday, I rewatched. Well, I think Monday and Tuesday I rewatched 3 and 4, and then last night I watched these episodes again without taking notes, just kind of letting myself watch the episode. So,
mhm.
um,
3 and 4. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, we didn't even talk about Ritsu those last 2 episodes because he was just kind of there. Uh,
Ritsu. The
Mob's
brother?
Mob's brother, yeah, Mob's brother, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So he finally gets some screen time this episode.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I like how they set up the, I guess the situation where they both want what the other has, essentially.
yeah, they're good. They're foils,
Sure.
in some ways, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, we get a little bit more from him. I at first I did not think that Ritsu would be much of a character, because in the
Yeah.
first like 2 or 3 episodes, he just keeps kind of going, "Oh hey Mob, I'm here to talk to you anytime you need it," and the Mob just
Yeah.
goes, "I will not be elaborating on any of my problems, thank you."
Mhm.
I'm gonna go talk to Reagan instead.
Yeah. Yeah, Ritsu's cool. I mean, I'm sure if he shows up more, there will be more characterization, but
Yeah,
I mean, I don't blame him for wanting to go Super Saiyan, but
yeah. Well, I mean, he just wants to bend that spoon, man. That's
yeah, that was a very intense scene where he's
yeah. Oh yeah.
staring at the spoon or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's
I'm just like, yikes, man, calm down.
yeah, yeah, maybe he'll go 100 too.
I guess he doesn't have any psychic powers
Yeah,
from what we've seen thus far. Maybe he
true.
develops them later. Maybe Mob trains him to be a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's what Mob wants to do. He's like, "Yeah, there should be more of me
Yeah,
around."
yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, so I guess we have this weird, like, delinquent gang thing going on.
that was interesting.
Yeah,
Um,
we
they've
got Onigawara is the pompadour
mhm,
guy, the demon rush. He gets a
yeah,
special move too.
yeah. Everyone's got a special move
Yeah.
except for Mob. It
Man,
seems.
except for Mob, he's gotta get good. He's gotta give himself a special move that he doesn't hate.
Yeah. Well, I guess Mob will. Yeah, yeah. Mob's special move is letting his emotions out every once in a while. I guess.
Yeah, I guess going 100% would count as a special move.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got them and we got this whole gang thing happening and Teru's part of the other gang and who
Yeah.
knows
What
what's
what
gonna
is
happen there.
what is the other school called?
Oh,
They're salt,
black
right?
yeah, so Mob goes to salt,
Hmm.
Teru goes to black vinegar
Interesting.
because they're in seasoning city and
Hmm.
everything's named after condiments and seasonings.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, very very cool stuff. Yeah. So we kind of see Teru as somebody who is essentially what Mob could be if he really wanted to be, I guess, he's supposed to be all like popular and stuff and
Yeah.
using his powers all the time and he's got a girlfriend. Mob doesn't
Hmm.
have that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw Teru as sucking.
He does suck, yeah.
Yeah.
He does.
I don't know. I guess maybe I just like was not reading him as like, oh, that's who Mob could be.
Well, it's what Mob could be if he decided to be.
He wanted to be a jerk.
Yeah, he wanted to be a jerk. Yeah, if Mob
Yeah.
wanted to be a jerk, he would be Teru.
Yeah. What is that? Is that jerk from SpongeBob? What
Oh
is it?
yeah,
Is there an
oh
acronym?
no, jerk wasn't an acronym. It was part of the Anchor Arms commercial.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like,
I thought
now
it's
I'm a jerk, and
I thought it
everybody
stood
loves
for
me.
I thought it stood for something. I can't remember.
I don't remember it being an acronym, but yeah,
Okay. Well,
maybe it could be. Yeah,
it's
so
still
yeah,
it's still funny.
yeah, it's still funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If Mob,
So that's Teru.
yeah, so that's Teru. If Mob was a jerk,
I
let
it,
me.
it it was really clever that he's using his powers in like such a way that people are not detecting them.
Yeah, nobody know. It seems like nobody knows he has powers. He is using
Yeah,
them
that
covertly.
that seemed to be like a big moment when Mob said that you shouldn't use your powers on other people. He's like, "What?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
How did they know? My
How'd
power
you
level's
know?
over 9,000."
Yeah, I can't wait for Teru's power analysis of Mob next episode. He's gonna
Yeah,
let all the power scalers know exactly where Mob stands.
yeah, yeah. Maybe Mob explodes. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Because,
Mom will
like,
explode. Maybe he won't.
isn't he already back up at, like, 40% or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I think so he jumped up to 20 when he woke up and Dimple was there.
Yeah.
And now he's up to I think 48.
Yeah, it's just like, good lord.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when what it's the buildup of emotion, so if a lot of things are happening, if you
Okay.
get kidnapped by a bunch of delinquents and
Yeah,
tied up, and you just wanna go do squats with your boys, you're gonna be a little upset.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I guess it's just gonna keep happening more frequently.
Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah. I feel like I feel like they almost have to, like, Deku this problem, you know?
Oh, make him a like, a glass cannon?
No, no. I'm saying that, like, they've established this thing that, like, essentially is a cool convention right now, but at some point for the future viability of the show,
Mhm,
to continue on, they've gotta kind of ride around it. Like the fact that Deku keeps breaking his body doing
mhm.
using all for one or whatever.
One
One for
one for
all?
all.
One for
One
all?
for all. Yeah.
It's
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, people even people who are, like, super into the show or, like, the podcasts that I listen to, they're always mixing that up. It's
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But it's like so at some point they basically had to figure out how to ride around and stop focusing so much on that aspect of Deku's power.
Well, yeah, well, it's because he unlocked full cowling.
Yeah, he unlocked full cowling and then like also he did the started using his legs and stuff
Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
and there was things to write around it.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm saying is this explosion meter thing is similarly a writing gimmick of sorts that
Mhm.
can't sustain itself for 3 seasons.
Okay.
At least I don't think they'll have to come up with some difference than how it's currently working.
Okay.
Maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get how if it was the same every single time, it'd
It
be
seems
like,
like
"Oh, he's unlocking Super Saiyan mode every single time and just able to curb stomp everyone," you know?
right, and yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the kind of thing that um I mean maybe they don't change it and that's just a problem I have with the show.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know what
It's
to say
like,
to that,
well,
but yeah.
if there's this thing that like the meter's building up and you're supposed to be like anticipating that, if it goes off every like couple of episodes or just when the plot needs it, I don't know. Sometimes it just seems like giving your character situational powers,
Mm,
but the situation is so objective that you can just tick it up anytime you want because life is stressful. I don't know.
right.
It just
I
seems ar
I kinda see what you're
it's
going
it could
yeah,
be
yeah.
arbitrary, I guess,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know?
Yeah. No, I get you
There
there.
there's specific limitations on powers that can be interesting, like the Deku breaking his arms thing.
Mhm.
Like, I thought that was a really interesting limitation to put on Deku, and even then, they had to change it,
Oh, yeah.
at
Yeah.
some point in the story to be able to keep telling the story,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that
Like,
was an interesting limitation that was not subjective. It was, if you use your powers, you're gonna have to hurt yourself.
mhm.
And he just had to find more creative ways, like the fingers
Yeah, doing the fingers, yeah,
doing the
yeah.
fingers to, basically utilize all of the bones in his arms at different points in
At
time.
different points in time.
Right,
And
so
then break them again,
that's a
yeah, yeah,
creative
yeah.
limitation, whereas this feels like it could be creative, but right now it's just kinda subjective.
Okay.
It's just like, putting his Super Saiyan mode is activated by his emotions, and battles are emotional, so,
Mhm.
it's like
Right. Well, but
it's
I mean, like, I guess step back and remember, Mob telling Teru, "Don't use your powers on people," and
Mhm.
Mob very much applies that to himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Mob does not want to do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's his
Yeah.
code,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But what was funny about the encounter with the Mr. Dimples was that it turned out to be a spirit anyway.
Yes. So, yeah,
Like,
that turned out okay for
he
Mob
didn't
in the
really end up even using his powers on people.
Right, yeah, well, yeah, so he ended up using his powers on Dimple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he did, like, shove all those people off of him or whatever, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also, I mean, a mob feels awful about it because he, or at least did feel awful about it until he talked about it with Reagan. But he was like, "Oh, still not reading the room here." He
mhm.
didn't quite realize he broke up a cult.
Right, right.
He was like, "Oh God, I ruined everyone's good times."
Right, right.
You know,
See, like, you know, I feel like they're painting Mob a little dense.
a little bit.
Yeah, he's quite dense to the point where it's like, do we want that to be neurodivergent representation?
Well, good point.
There's a level to which it's not that he doesn't understand social cues, there's a level to which it appears that he's just stupid. I don't
Kind of,
know.
kind of a good point there, but well, you see it all, but yeah.
We'll see how it progresses, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No offense to anyone out there,
Yeah, yeah.
but, it's I guess it's, like, it's interesting to, like, try and talk about traits on cartoon characters in particular,
Mm,
because there's just so often in these things, these character tropes that are perhaps based off of something, but are wildly exaggerated for
mm.
comedy, essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's interesting to, like, try and map those kinda characteristics onto, like, real people or
Mm.
compare them with, like, real how people really think or whatever,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because so often it's just highly exaggerated.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing about, like, cartoons and anime in general, is everything's exaggerated, not
Mhm.
just those specific traits, you
Yeah.
know? But, yeah.
It's like
No, I get what you're coming from.
that's a question you could ask about, like, a character in, like, a drama or something, and even then it's gonna be exaggerated beyond, like, the realm of, um, you know, reality,
Mhm.
but, at the same time, it's more likely that, in a drama or something, they're trying to write characters who are, uh, dealing with certain things,
Right.
but, I mean, I guess you can do that with anime too.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think you
that
can.
I don't know what the culture is around that. Like, is in
Yeah.
anime because Japan is such a, like, conservative culture,
Yeah.
um, at least in some regards. I don't know a ton about Japan, but it just seems like they're traditional in, like,
They are.
a lot of
Yeah.
ways. So it's like, are people even asking about that? Like
Yeah, I don't so I know that neurodiversity and like autism and stuff isn't super recognized in Japan.
Mhm,
Um, but I just think that, whether or not the author, his pen name's One, by the way,
mhm.
just ONE, all caps.
Right, for the amount of punches.
Yeah, for the amount of punches.
Yeah,
So I don't know if One intentionally wrote Mob this way, like as in I wanted to write a neurodivergent character.
mhm.
But I don't even know if he based Mob off of himself or someone he knows or completely pulled him out of thin air or whatever, but I think you can accidentally write somebody neurodivergent without even meaning to.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know enough about neurodivergency.
Right, right. Yeah.
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 It's interesting, all of it, you know?
Mhm.
But yeah, so Mob gets kidnapped.
Yeah, Mob does get kidnapped and tied to a chair, and
Mhm.
he's just like, "Yeah, I don't know any of these people, Dimple. I don't."
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that was one thing I find interesting here is that so many anime characters, one of their most to give heroes a flaw, they often make it so that they're bad at lying. Monkey D. Luffy's bad at lying. Deku's bad at lying. Anytime you ask, oh hey, why are you and All Might's powers the same? He's just like, oh man, oh boy, oh gee, I can't answer that. Ooh. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer's bad at lying. Mob
Yeah.
here is one of the very few characters that, like, when he's got like a secret, that being his secret ghost friend, he's just
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, I wasn't talking to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's, what makes Mob interesting is not his virtue,
Yeah, that's true.
whereas a lot of classic characters and, I think anime's protagonists are all trying to emulate, like, classic Greek heroes and stuff like that, just
Hmm.
the archetypes of heroicness, like Deku. So, like, yeah, of course, Deku's bad at lying because lying is it's a vice, whereas being truthful and honest is a virtue.
Hmm. Yeah, so it's just I think Mob's just really good at acting like Dimple isn't there. Like, even with Dimple, like, talking to him while he was having that conversation with Ritsu, Dimple's, like,
Mm.
yelling in his ear, and he's just like, I'm just talking to my brother, just shut
That
up."
almost seems like counter to his character, though.
Oh, yeah?
The bluntness of just like not understanding that you should keep it a secret that you're talking to a spirit or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm
Maybe
trying
he gets that.
what was that after he talked to Reagan, or
I
was that
think so.
before? Okay, so that
Yeah.
was after. Okay, so you'd already decided to keep him, okay. So now, well, I mean, but also, why would he tell Ritsu about? Because I wonder how many ghosts have been in Mob's life.
Sure. Yeah. No. I
Has he
mean,
kept secret ghost friends before?
I'm not.
And
I'm
also,
not saying he would like outright tell him, but like
yeah.
at the same time, it seems weird when like a character trait is that he'll just kind of say things uh, bluntly or whatever. It's kind of strange the whole secret thing now.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like prior to having this thing, he was a very secretive person.
Mhm. Well, but he's also just not much of an open book either. I mean, every time Ritsu asks him, "Hey, what's going on? Do you need to talk?" He never says anything, or he says, "Oh, I'm fine."
Okay. Yeah, I guess with the reveal of his condition where he explodes upon packing down his emotions or whatever, it makes more sense
Mhm.
that he's hiding stuff because
Yeah.
I was just reading his character as uninterested in displaying emotion,
Mm, mm.
which to me is different.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that he's uninterested, he's just like, uh yeah, pushing everything down in trying to counteract his psychic powers or whatever.
Okay.
Which is just a snake eating its own tail here,
Mhm.
just is that the right phrase? I don't know, whatever. It's counterintuitive to himself that he's pushing everything down.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, I guess, if you wanna wrap up, I wanna end on one note specifically, so if you
Okay.
have anything else you wanna say about either episode, I'd say go for it, but, If not, I have one last thing I want to say for you to kind of chew on as we go into the
Okay.
next week.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
All right. So to talk about like Teru and Mob and kind of their polarized positions here on life in general, as well as their own psychic powers. Uh,
Mhm,
so sh- Mob's last name Kageyama.
mhm,
This comes from a Twitter thread. This comes from a thread from a Twitter user Katya Talks. They do
mhm.
many different translations for Mob Psycho 100, all kinds of just magazines and interviews and stuff like that. And they have a whole big thread about the characters' names.
Mhm,
So, Mob's last name Kageyama. Uh,
mhm,
the Kage part means shadow, and the Yama part means
mhm,
mountain. So you could call
mhm,
it in the shadow of a mountain. And
mhm.
Teru's name,
In the mountain of a shadow.
sure. So the name Tsuruki,
Mhm,
the first bit of kanji there means radiance, shine, and sparkle.
mhm,
And the second piece of kanji means spirit and essence.
mhm.
So his name basically means the one who shines. So
Okay.
it's interesting that usually in these like battles of like good and evil, it's dark and light or whatever.
Mhm,
Light and dark. Light being good,
mhm,
dark being evil. But here, Mob is the darkness, the shadows, and
mhm.
Teru is the light.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, so there's something to think about for next week.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I hope he kicks Teiru's butt.
Yeah, maybe you will. Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
Super
So
Saiyans.
the next episode's title is Ochimusha, Psychic Powers and Me. Do you know what an Ochimusha is?
No.
Uh it's basically a disgraced samurai.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna disgrace a
Yeah,
samurai.
maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe the disgraced samurai's friends we made along the way.
True.
Yeah.
So true and so
Yeah,
wise.
I'm very wise. I think that about wraps us up. So thanks for listening to podcasts and such. Join us next week for episodes 5 and 6.
Yay!
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.